Nutralysis is an excellent tool for documenting your nutrition visits here. We're going to go through this slide presentation. I'll give you a short overview of Nutralysis, and then we'll jump into a live demonstration of the features of Nutralysis. This is a view of the Nutralysis patient file. Looking up a patient file, you'll see that we have on the left-hand side the supplements that a patient is currently on their current supplement protocol. On the right-hand side, the symptom trends, their current symptoms from previous exams. You can print this panel off and give it to the patient to take home with them. At the top of the file, you'll see their name and their profile picture, which you can take a picture using your webcam. And below their picture and name are any relevant alerts for this patient. This patient alerts include things such as supplements that need to be refilled, or if they're due for a follow-up visit. At the bottom of the patient file, not shown on the screen, are archived exams, as well as information on the 7 pillars. During the course of your visit, you'll need to take a case history. Included with Nutralysis are a number of different case history templates. Shown here is the case history created by Dr. Stuart White, a detailed history listing a number of different questions, which are highlighted with various colors. To change the color of a question, you simply touch the question to change its color, ranging from yellow being mild, blue, moderate, red, severe, green, resolved. The line below each individual line shows the results from the previous exam. Scrolling through using the control in the top right corner that says compare with, giving the date, allows you to compare it with previous exams to be able to show improvement over time. This is the exam template that Dr. Stuart White uses each and every visit with his patients. You also have the ability to add in other types of exams. We have in here SSA for the system strength analysis, as well as exam templates for NRT and NET. Shown here is the system strength analysis muscle test exam form, indicating an individual reflex point positive allows you to choose supplements or add tracing information for that reflex point. Illustrated here is the list of supplements recommended for the HPA access on the SSA muscle test form. You're able to select any of the recommended supplements listed by Stuart White for the 7 pillars. You can also show and select from the trace lytics. Trace lytics is a fascinating new feature available through Nutralysis that allows you to select supplements or see which supplements have been used by other providers, including Dr. White. What happens with trace lytics is that you're able to pull in information from results from what Dr. White is doing, from what other doctors are doing through Nutralysis. For example, when Dr. White does an exam in his office in Houston and indicates the HP axis is positive, he will list that here and then recommend a supplement, say for example, rhodiola and schizandra. He has listed that as one of the supplements he's given. Then he comes back and gives another exam, perhaps a month later, and that HP axis goes from positive to negative, showing 100% improvement for the HPA axis with simplex M or rhodiola and schizandra, whatever the supplement is. That data point is recorded in the database as a piece of analytical information used to build up and create this list of recommended supplements. Notice there the third item down under recommended supplements based on trace lytics says rhodiola and schizandra 40 tablets, 73%. That information right there, the 73%, says it was improved 73% of the patients who took it. That is a very strong recommendation there. The 100% also are very useful to look at. There are extensive reports for you to delve into this data further. But right now, right here, at your fingertips, when you're doing the muscle test, these recommendations allow you to see what other providers are using instantly and instantly gives you this information so you can base your recommendations not only on your own knowledge, but on expertise from other doctors right here at your fingertips. So that is part of the magic, part of the usefulness of trace lytics integrated right here into the muscle tests. Here on this next slide, you'll see that you can select a supplement, and clicking in the supplement allows you to add it to the nutrition schedule, allowing you to enter in the dosages. You can put in a comment which will also show up on the nutrition schedule. Speaking of the nutrition schedule, this is what it looks like to be able to edit the nutrition schedule in Nutralysis. Here you have the dosages, as well as the supplement names and the number of bottles needed. The number of bottles needed is calculated automatically for you based on the number of days at the top of the column. You can change those days to suit your preferences and your practice's preferences. You'll see that the bottom has a total number of bottles as well as the price for the bottles. You can apply a discount. This discount is remembered for the patient for the next time you see the patient, and you can change the number of revisit weeks. This weeks box drives the revisit alerts, the reminder alert. You can have a reminder that will tell you, based on the number of weeks placed here, that you need to see this patient again. It allows your office staff to remember and make a call to the patient to schedule them if you haven't already scheduled a visit for this patient. The number of bottles is calculated automatically based on the number of days placed at the top of the column here. So this is the patient's nutrition schedule. When you save this schedule, it's stored in the system, and you can print this off as a refrigerator sheet that the patient can take home and hang on the refrigerator, used to reference how they're supposed to take these supplements. Not only does the printed nutrition schedule contain the dosage information, but it will also automatically include the description for what each supplement does. These descriptions are pre-filled for standard process and MediHerb supplements, and you, as a practitioner, can customize what each description says if you so choose, and add in new descriptions for each supplement. These descriptions help patients understand why they're taking each supplement, and it will increase patient compliance and retention, so they feel like they have the knowledge to be able to take the supplements. You can also email the nutrition schedule to the patient electronically, and you'll need to put in a password known to both you and the patient for HIPAA compliance, so that way no patient information travels over the email system unencrypted. This is an example of a patient email that they'll receive. It includes a link to their patient portal where they can pick up information and exchange forms with your office securely and protected via SSL, secure encryption for web pages. Selecting any of the links in the email will take them to their patient portal. This patient portal is provided free of charge for your office for all of your patients. They can access it and log in with Facebook, or they can log in with a username with their email address and password. On the front page of their portal, you'll see they have access to their nutrition schedule, where they can also download it as a PDF. Under the Files and Forms tab, they can fill in the questionnaires that you can send home to the patient. You can send them a 7 Pillars detailed history questionnaire to fill in and send back to you electronically. And we will be adding new features to the patient portal come the first quarter of next year, including patient scheduling and some other files and forms that you'll be able to send home to the patient. The patient portal is an easy tool to enhance your office's perception and to give your office an air of professionalism, and it's included with your account automatically. Also included with your Nutralysis account is an extensive suite of reports. There are a number of reports under here which would be good for you to look at and to explore. Of interest would be the reorder report if you're using the inventory feature in Nutralysis. The reorder report monitors your inventory levels and tells you what products you'll need to reorder. Additionally, you'll want to take a look at the patients due for follow-up visits. This lists the patients that are due for visits within the next 7 days. By default, you can change that date range, and it tells you who you should be calling to set up new appointments. There's a number of new reports not pictured here, including the Nutralysis reports, where you can explore in greater detail the tracing data, the analytics data that's shown in earlier screens. Here's an example of what the statistics report looks like for a busy office. These statistics give you information allowing you to monitor the health and status of your office. Nutralysis costs $175 to start up, and then $65 a month after that. If you haven't already started using Nutralysis, you can sign up online and get started at neutraliswellness.com/sign up. The link there is shown on your screen, and you can get started today by going to that webpage. I'm going to jump in now and show you a short live demo of the Nutralysis software so you can see exactly how this looks in action to step through a patient visit. While I'm switching tabs, I would encourage you to use your GoToWebinar software, and the questions that have been popping up in your mind as you've been listening to me talk, send me those questions in, and I'll do my best to answer them as I talk and give you a time to ask questions specifically later on. So please fill those questions in now, and we'll be answering them as we go along. This is the office dashboard. It wasn't shown in the slides earlier. You can see the dashboard here has a lot of information on it. I'm going to go into a John Doe patient file just so we can walk through a short visit with John. This is John's patient file. The first thing I'm going to do is to give him a case history, to go over his case history with him when he used Dr. White's detailed history form. This is the detailed history. You can see it compares with the previous visit on December the 12th, where the headaches were resolved. Now, since this is all fake data, I'm just going to go in here and fill in some arbitrary data real quick. Maybe he has some ringing in his ears, which is pretty severe. Headaches have come back. Rather than filling in the rest, I trust you've gotten the idea. If you ever forget what the colors mean, you can touch and hold or click and hold, and it presents you a menu saying what the colors indicate. You can change the color from there. This is the detailed history, or taking a case history. Typically, you'll do this, fill this out on an iPad or another tablet-type device. Android tablets work well with Nutralysis as well. So iPad or Android, doesn't matter. Filling this out, sitting knee to knee with a patient, you can get through this detailed history verbally with a patient anywhere to 5 to 10 minutes to go through this entire detailed history. Once you've completed the case history for the patient, you would use today's visit menu in the top right and select Jump to Exam. This shows the other exam templates that we have available in Nutralysis. So since you've completed the case history, you would likely move on to either a physical exam. We've got Chapman's Reflux and Foundations Nutritional Exam, a blood chemistry, or a muscle test. I'm going to move on to the system strength analysis and muscle test and just show you that live right here. You can see in this muscle test, we've got the various reflex points, and here we'll indicate the HP axis positive as shown in the screenshots earlier. And the trace lytics data is populated here. Putting your mouse over those numbers gives you information on what the trace lytics behind the scenes are showing you for that. For example, you can see here for Rodial and Shazandra, it was a 73% improvement over 11 follow-up exams with a total prescription of 105. So it was prescribed 105 times. We've only had 11 follow-up exams in that time, and over those 11 follow-up exams, Rodial and Shazandra has shown a 73% improvement. I'm going to go ahead and add that to John's nutrition schedule. I'm going to give him a dosage of 3 and 3, and you can notice the bottles are already calculating that he'll need 5 of these bottles for a 30-day supply. I'm going to make a short comment. I'm not sure what the comment is, but we'll just put a comment there saying demo so you can see the comments do carry over to the schedule. An informational window appears indicating that it has done what you've asked. It's also put it on the packing list. This is what it looks like to add a supplement from the SSA exam. So keep in mind, we're partway through the patient visit at this point. We've completed a detailed history. We've completed the system strength analysis. You see there's a check mark by the detailed history. We're on the system strength analysis, so we're partway through. The next thing we'll do is we'll review the patient's nutrition schedule to check that the dosage is correct and the number of bottles is correct. The nutrition schedule includes all the items the patient was previously on, as well as the new item which we've just added them on today, Rhodiola and Schizandra. Looks like they were already on that from a previous demo, hence the tracing that appears twice here indicating where that came from. Over on the right-hand side, you'll see that the 5 bottles that we indicated is present in the list, and the comment we added is also present on the schedule. We don't have any other bottles filled in right now because we haven't filled in any other bottles. So right now we have the 5 supplements, 5 bottles there. This totals for $49. We're going to be fine with that. I think we'll also give them a bottle of AF beta food just for demo purposes. As the doctor now, this is where your conversation about the financial burden that this may place on the patient may take. If you tell the patient, for example, that the $68 is the cost for the order today, and they express that it's a bit of a load on them, you can work with them, work with their supplement protocol to reduce that financial burden, since you have the financial information right here at your fingertips, automatically updated. For example, if they say 7 bottles is just too much, or 9 bottles rather, let's go ahead and reduce that load to 1 bottle of our Rhodiola and Schizandra and 1 bottle of AF beta food. If they indicate that that burden, the $20, is far more palatable, then you're good to go. As the doctor, your role here is to put the number of bottles in the supplement, in the schedule here. When you hit Save Changes, then it completes that, and it's warning you there's some other supplements that have not been added to a packing list. In case you want to give them to them, you hit the green button. Since we know we only want those 2 supplements, we'll continue without adding. Now that it's completed saving the schedule, it's creating your packing list. You'll see it gave an alert here saying the packing list for John Doe needs to be fulfilled. This is an important thing to take note of, because this means that it will automatically communicate the packing list, what needs to be done across your entire office, electronically, automatically through the cloud. You can sign in as many devices as you need to Nutralysis. For example, if you have an iPad in your patient exam room, perhaps your laptop at your desk, and then at the front desk where your checkout person is taking patients and fulfilling orders, they're also signed into Nutralysis. That means that as soon as you complete the packing list here, you're finished with the patient interaction, an alert is generated that automatically appears on your front desk indicating that John Doe's supplement list is ready. No more walking paperwork up front, no more having to handwrite out a list of what supplements to take. Nutralysis handles streamlining your office communication for you automatically. Let's look at this packing list. Take off the hat of doctor and pretend for a minute with me that you're now in the role of the front desk checkout person. The front desk checkout person's role, or for some of you who are running a one-man shop, your role would be to take that list of supplements, put it and get it off the shelf, and give it to the patient. So to find out what supplements are needed for the patient, open up the patient's packing list. You'll see that only the 2 supplements that we told the nutrition schedule we wanted to give to the patient are listed on the packing list. This allows you to indicate only certain supplements rather than forcing your front desk to read through the entire nutrition schedule to figure out what you want. The packing list shows just the supplements to go home with the patient today. Not only does it show just the supplements, it shows the number of bottles. This is where back orders and inventory comes into play here. Clicking this button here automatically copies over the number of bottles, checks inventory, and lists how many bottles you have in inventory. This is where you would record how many bottles you actually gave the patient. For example, if you were at the front desk, your front desk checkout person anyway, goes and gets the bottles of Rhodiola and Schizandra off the counter, off your inventory counter. Suppose they can only find 1 bottle of Rhodiola and Schizandra, no bottles of AF beta food, that's okay. They just put that in exactly as they found it. It just told me that it thinks that there was no bottles of Rhodiola and Schizandra in inventory. That happens sometimes. The counts get off. This will fix it for you automatically. It's going to ask you and say, are you sure that you have 1 bottle left? And you click OK, automatically adjusts inventory. However, the AF beta food, that's accurate. There's no bottle left. We can't give them that to the patient. This will record that as a back order. It'll automatically prompt you when you get your next order from Standard Process, when you receive in AF beta food at that time, perhaps next week, when you put in AF beta food. Assuming you put this as 0 and store this packing list as a back order, the system will automatically notify you that John Doe is waiting on some AF beta food, and then you can give him a call at that time and say, hey, John, your AF beta food's in and ready for you to pick up. So we're not done yet. Your front desk staff role is only partially done. They've got the bottles out, they put them on the counter, and they put in the 1 and the 0, indicating what they've done. But in order for your inventory counts to be accurate, this is very important. They've got to close the order. You do that by clicking Packing List Actions, and then Update Inventory and Close Order. This brings you to a confirmation screen. You're repeating the pricing information we saw earlier for your front desk. They'll see the same pricing information, although here it says 1 bottle for $9.87. The reason is it's showing the price only for the packed bottles. This is up to your office policy how you want to pay or have the patient pay. The patient can either pay for the bottles packed taken home today, which most offices do, or if you like, you can have the patient pay for the total amount of the order and then pick them up later. That is up to you, your call. Either way, it'll display the pricing however you choose. Once you are happy with the order, if you need to make any changes, you can click Cancel and go back. But this is very important. You must click Update Inventory. This is what will take the bottles out of inventory, reduce your on-hand count, and update your inventory system accordingly. It's taking us back and says and confirms what it did. It says inventory updated, 1 bottle removed. And you can see here that that line for rhodiola and schizandra is closed. Everything is good to go. This line for AF beta food still shows 1 on back order, which is exactly the way it should. And up here at the top, it says partially finalized, indicating that part of the packing list is done. You still owe the patient. That is a complete walkthrough of what your front desk will need to do with the patient. When they get the packing, when they get the AF beta food in, say next week, they can come in here and fill in and tell the system they finally gave the patient AF beta food. They wouldn't see this warning since it would have already received it in, but I'm going to click OK to do it anyway. They would just do the exact same thing again, update and close, and then they would update inventory once again. And now that packing list is closed, gone away. If you needed to change it, you could reopen it and make any changes, but that packing list is complete. It is finalized. Your front desk person has completed everything they need to do with the patient, and then they can go back to the dashboard. If you ever get lost, go back to the dashboard. That, my friends, is a complete walkthrough of the patient flow for Nutralysis. Nutralysis is available for your office, and I know a number of you have already signed up and are already using it. We have complete training available for you. We'd love to talk with you further. So if you have any questions on how to use Nutralysis or how to do particular functions in Nutralysis, please reach out to us at the phone number you see on your screen or going to the website, clicking the Contact Us tab, and you'll see our support email address there, which is just support@neutralysiswellness.com. We'd love to talk with you more. We'd be glad to set up a personal training session for you and your staff. Give us a call or send us an email today. We look forward to talking with you soon.